The story of Bayamanaco and Deminan Caracaracol. Once upon a time, a very long time ago, somewhere in what today is the Caribbean, there were four brothers. They were quadruplets. Now in the Taino cosmology, they are the spirits of the four directions, the four sacred winds. These quadruplets were the children of the ancient bleeding grandmother Itiba Kahubaba, the Sami of the earth. Now one of the quadruplets, Deminan Caracaracol, was afflicted with an unpleasant condition that made his skin all scabby and itchy. As such, he was covered in wounds and scabs. One day, the four brothers waited for the creator spirit of the universe, Yaya, to leave his boyhood, his hut, to tend to his sacred Canuco garden. The four brothers entered Yaya's boyhood, driven by hunger, mischief, and curiosity. Deminan Caracaracol, being the bravest of the four, but also the clumsiest, accidentally dropped a higuera gourd that hung on rafters off of the roof thatching. Within the higuera gourd was once the bones of Yayael, the son of Yaya, but after some time the bones had transformed into salt water and all the sea creatures. But the higuera gourd was very magical and carried more water than it could possibly contain. When the brothers dropped this magical higuera gourd, it broke, and the colossal amount of water that exploded from within it quickly flooded the land, filling the dry earth with the Caribbean Sea, and all the sea creatures that live within it. Thus the sea was created. Deminan Caracaracol and his three brothers ran from Yaya's boyo in fear of what they had just done. Wandering aimlessly, they eventually tumbled on the Kane hut of their grandfather, the Sami known as Bayamanaco, the wise spirit of fire. Hidden from Bayamanaco's view, they saw that Bayamanaco was by the fire making cassave bread, smoking tobacco, and preparing the sacred ritual of the cahoba. Hungry as they were, they finally became brave enough to approach Bayamanaco, and the four asked Bayamanaco for food. He looked upon the four brothers and invited them into his Kane hut. Bayamanaco was kind to his four grandchildren and told the four brothers the story of their mother, Itiba Kahubaba, the ancient bleeding mother who had died giving birth to the quadruplets. But Deminan Caracaracol, being the mischievous of the four, insulted Bayamanaco by trying to steal some cassave bread, fire, tobacco, and cohoba. Bayamanaco, in a fit of fury, put his hand on one of his nostrils and shot a wad of guanguayo on Deminan Caracaracol. Now this guanguayo was a mix of cohoba seeds, magical herbs, powders, and tobacco. The guanguayo landed on Deminan Caracaracol's back, on top of his rash, and began to grow into a tumor that caused him great pain. From this tumor, a large blister emerged and wouldn't stop growing, and the three brothers thought Deminan Caracol would die. Not knowing what else to do, they tried to cut the blister open with a knife, but the knife was blunt and couldn't cut through the skin. So they grabbed an axe and cut the blister open with force. And when the blister opened, the Caguana sea turtle emerged from the wound. The Caguana sea turtle then entered the sea that the four brothers created earlier, and would eventually grow and become the continent of America. From this spit and herbs, Caguana was born. Caguana was the progenitor of the Taino people, the most ancient of all ancestors.